Hey guys, welcome. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. I am joined today by a fellow YouTuber over on that side, Stephanie Ortiz. She is a channel that has Reborn Art?
Yeah, Reborn Art vlogging channel. It's called In Love with Reborns 2011.
Okay.
I just share whatever I want to, really.
So she is an artist that makes reborns, which are dolls, right?
Lifelike dolls.
Lifelike dolls. And her YouTube platform has about 377,000 subscribers. Some of her videos have been largely viewed with, millions of views for some of the earlier stuff that she did. And today she does a lot of, it's a lot of chit-chatting with her subscribers and telling them what's going on. But she has actually found herself in the middle of something that she probably never wanted to be a part of. And it involves an organization that is widely well known due to a show that was on Lifetime. And because on this channel we talk about organizations like the one in which she's involved in this situation, we have been talking a lot about Sister Wives and the AUB, in which Cody Brown is involved in, and sort of all the intricacies that go along with that. Stephanie found herself in the middle of a working relationship with this organization without even knowing about it.
No, almost 9 years.
So let's start from the beginning, because one of my subscribers, actually one of my moderators, Renee, who everyone in the chat knows and loves, Renee is a fan of yours, and she actually brought this to my attention and said, Katie, I want you to cover this. And I said, I don't want to cover this. And she said, but I really want you to cover this. And then I just kept getting more people saying, Katie, you need to cover this. Then I saw you were subscribed to my channel, and it was like, how many more?
People started contacting me and said, have you heard of her? And I'm like, I have no idea. They're like, I'm messaging her. And I was like, well, forget it. I'm going to go over there and just put my stuff over there, because everybody was contacting me too. It was funny.
Yes. So just tell people a little bit more. Like, I want to give people who are not in sort of that niche of YouTube, because we know that there's little niches around YouTube.
And I'm a very small niche, but I have a larger channel. So basically, I make dolls that look like realistic babies. And they come in vinyl kits, so we have to purchase them from companies. Well, this one doll company that I've done business with for years, I don't know what. Anyways, I had
Bountiful Baby, allegedly.
Yeah, they are Bountiful. Yes, Bountiful Baby, who is wrongfully suing me for putting together the alleged connections I saw on Lifetime. Thank you, Escaping Polygamy show. But what it is that I would attend this doll show that Bountiful Baby, or Rose International Doll Show is what they're known for in Utah as well. And they would put on a doll show, and artists from all over the world would come. And I kind of was like the highlight of the doll show, because I have a large fan base, and I always talked about it. Always. That's all you ever hear me talk about the years promoting this doll show, so we can have a lot of fun, right?
Yes.
Well, it just got to a point where I felt like I was being used for my fans by the owners. And so we live in California, and we drive to Utah, and I pretty much don't make any money at the event, because I'm just such a nice person. I sell really low. So we had decided back in April that this would be our last doll show in Utah that we would work on in 2021, throwing our own California doll show.
Okay.
Well, while I was at the doll show, because I am a YouTuber, have a large following, I had two people who were a security risk, and I was provided security, and I was told that one of the persons never showed up to the doll show. And so, because every day I'm asking constantly, is this person there? Like, I need to know. I don't know what she looks like. I got to be safe, right? My security needs to know. And they're like, no, she's not here. Well, about 2 weeks later, I get a message from one of my fans that says, you've been lied to. That lady was there the entire week you were there. So I called them out and I said, hey, is this whole company lying to me? Why would you jeopardize my security? And I just said, we're never going back. Okay. So this is in the end of July.
Yeah.
So it just goes as it is. I start planning my own doll show. And on September 7th, I get an email that says, the gist was you need to watch Escaping Polygamy.
Yes.
And boy, was that an eye-opener. Because now, not only did I separate myself from this business to I was getting kickback from the fans because they're like, why aren't you going to the doll show? You're just mad. I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's time, money,
So you actually, based on that pressure, you put out a video in July which sort of explained all of your issues with this show, outlining the
before even knowing they were associated with the Kingston.
Right.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So you put together this. It's a very detailed video. You can check her channel out if you're interested in sort of the backstory. But she talks about, it costs X amount for this booth, and I need 2 booths for how much I have, plus a hotel, plus they want me to pay for these classes. So I'm out all of this money. I don't actually make money. They promise that they're going to keep me secure. That doesn't happen. So I decide that I'm not going to go this year, and this is why.
Yeah, and I had actually told Andy Kingston, who works for Bountiful Baby, who was my friend, a trusted friend of mine. I had said, look, I'm not going. And at this point, I didn't know her last name until recently. Okay. So I didn't know she was a Kingston. She was always known as Andy. So at this point, I'm like, hey, if they do want me to come back next year, they're going to have to treat me like a YouTube star because you guys are riding my coattail of my fans. And I'm getting nothing. I said, you just happen to get lucky that a large YouTube channel is attending your show and over promoting it. Like, it's just free for you, You're not, I'm paying to attend events that you want me to record for you, so I was just like, if you guys want me to come back, then we'll have to talk details. But that never happened because, on March 7th, I found out that September 7th, I found out that there were alleged connections with the Kingston group after watching Activism Polygamy.
And you then put out another video.
Not right away either.
No.
Research. Yeah.
Right.
I went and researched, and then I put out another video, and I said, this is officially why I'm no longer supporting that doll company. I'm not asking anybody to not support them or not support me because we can all be adults. You can support who you want to and keep it separately. But this is why I'm not supporting. I've been lied to this many years. I feel like as to the loyalty of my subscribers, I feel like they should know the truth because I was lied to and I feel like I'll never be the same, mentally. Like, how do I trust somebody?
Yes.
So I
feel like they misled you.
Yes.
And so
I felt
you being obviously naive to sort of the overall control this group allegedly has in that area.
Well, I didn't even know that they were part of it. Like, because I had asked in the past, like, I didn't even know the Kingstons existed. I just noticed that a lot of people in Utah look the same. And I would ask because they have a very large family. And I'd be like, are you guys part of polygamy? And they'd be like, oh, no. We're not part of that, blah, 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 many times. So I just learned in September 7th that they were Kingstons. And then, allegedly. And then I made that video with all my supporting, stuff from Lifetime. And then
so what you did was you took it was actually from one of their very first episodes where they talk about how, so if you're not familiar with Escaping Polygamy, it was a show that aired on Lifetime television, and it was followed a few girls that I've learned now that those girls may or may not have actually helped some of these people get out, but it discussed people that were leaving the order, which is what the Kingston clan is known as, and also the FLDS, and a couple times it was featured the AUB, which is the same group that Cody Brown is in. And in one of the very first episodes, they explained that these are a plain-clothed group that blend in, much like the AUB. They have businesses that you don't even know exist. And on that is a car or a van that says...
It's actually a moving clip.
Yeah, a moving clip, and it's a car, and it says Bountiful Baby.
Mm-hmm. And I've been told that I've made this all up.
Okay. Interesting.
And it's not real.
It's not real.
No.
And so...
all the news articles I've read, everything about the Kingstons, like those defending like the supporters of that doll company,
yes,
they just say that I have this wild imagination.
A wild imagination. Interesting.
Yes, it's very interesting. I should write a book.
So this is the same group that currently is in federal court as we speak. 4 of the members are under indictment for a $511 million fraud scheme with biofuel. 2 of the people in this indictment and one of the women are all connected to the group's leader, John Daniel Kingston, who was also the father of 3 of the girls from Escaping Polygamy.
Who, if we're going to say father, the plaintiffs of my case is the great uncle to Jessica and Andrea from Escaping Polygamy.
Right.
But yet I'm lying.
Right. Right. So,
that's mind-boggling.
You put this video out, and within how long do you find out about this lawsuit?
I got served because what? A month and a week later, because what the plaintiffs kept telling people is, oh, it'll get brushed under the rug. It's not true. It'll get brushed under the rug. And it did it because it's my reputation at stake. It's my channel. And you know, I'm a true person. I'm not a liar. I'm not going to go down to someone else's lies, you know, or hitting skeletons, we say.
Right. So
yeah, on October 15th, we were served.
Okay. So I just want to be, someone in my chat said they're confused. So I'm just going to be very high level. So Stephanie is this channel. She has this relationship with this doll company called Bountiful Baby. For 10 years, she has been purchasing doll parts from this company, as well as sort of telling people on her channel, hey, I use these products. These products are apparently well priced, so they're affordable for people that want to do, and they're well made. And so a lot of people use this business. So for 9 years, she's involved in this. I support them. I talk about them on my channel. She goes to their annual doll show. She finds out a year, so this year when she's she normally goes to their doll show. Her fans are like, why aren't you going to go this year? So she has to put out a video basically explaining what happened with the doll show, why she wasn't going to go. And then after that, people contact her and say, well, there's more to the story than what you know. And so it's at that point, Stephanie says, oh, crap. So they weren't just trying to make me pay for everything to be a part of this. They're also in a damn cult. Allegedly.
One of the worst ones. Yeah, allegedly associated with one of the worst cults out there.
Okay. So they serve you after you do this video allegedly explaining that they are part of this thing.
And I was told, I was served as a scare tactic, and this is not being told from my attorney. This is being told from ex-order members, because they have reached out to me, and a lot of ex-cult members, like satanic cults. I've had Jehovah's Witness come out to me. Child trafficking's come forward. They said they served me in hopes I would shut up.
Right, so they want you to take down all the videos and retract all your statements.
Yeah, so I was told that I was served in hopes I would shut up because they couldn't kill me because I'm a public figure. So typically, now, back when the whistleblower, with WRE, what you were talking about.
Yes,
the
so there was
a
this group.
There was a
Oh, I'm sorry. There's this group that two former order members that blew the whistle on this scheme of fraud that the order is involved with. And there's multiple things going on right now in federal court. One is the order is 4 members of the order are indicted for $511 million fraud scheme related to biofuel. And so those members are actually in federal court as we speak. That trial is going right now. Many of these people are facing up to 15 years in prison, and they are connected. The order members, the 2 men that ran this company, are the sons of one of the leaders of the Kingston clan.
And so the whistleblowers from that, they actually had a bounty on their head. And then the text went, can we get a 2 for 1 was the bounty for a bounty. So I happened to be lucky to be in a spotlight, because if I wasn't, there would potentially be a bounty on my head for sharing what I shared, which Lifetime shared it, so I don't understand.
Right, and so she not only has this, they're suing her for this, but then they're also, there's another lawsuit that's going on right now related to financial aid fraud related to Daniel Kingston. And a whistleblower, the same whistleblower that blew the whistle on the biodiesel, blew the whistle on Daniel Kingston's having his children take out financial aid and then having that financial aid money go kick back to the group, even though they didn't need it and didn't attend school. Any money that they didn't need for school just went back to the order.
Yes, because all money has to be consecrated through the church. You find a penny, it goes to the church. Right.
So I'm going to show them a clip here in a second, though. So they're suing you for defamation. And that...
Yeah, conspiracy, invasion of privacy. I mean, I don't know. It goes on and on.
Yeah, I
have defamation.
I have the full complaint. So they're doing claim for relief of invasion of privacy, second claim for defamation, third claim for intentional interference with economic relations, because apparently by speaking out against them, you've affected their group because some people are not wanting to purchase from them. The sad thing is I've noticed is that other reborn artists on YouTube refuse to support you because they don't want to get involved. And that's the part that's sad, is that because others feel retaliation, they will just continue to support this company because they don't want to have what happened to you happen to them.
Yeah, a lot of people, I have a message I can send you from the UK, because in the UK it's really stirring up some drama there. And they're very scared. They want to support me, and they don't want to be retaliated against. So they asked, how do we send, art pieces anonymously so you can sell? How do we donate money anonymously so you can sell? But we found out with that fundraiser that Melissa Ellis created, you can donate anonymously. It says just for me to see, or through my website, it's always anonymous. So yeah, people are scared. I'm not getting any help because they're freaking out.
So, right. So you are being sued in federal court. Well, your lawyer, they sue you in Utah.
Pushed it to federal court.
Your lawyer pushes it to federal court, where it's currently in as we speak.
Yes, I'm countersuing.
You're countersuing them for the economic hardship they've placed on you because they have interfered with your businesses. They have had slander. Okay, so I see that they're like interfering on your website to try to get stuff taken down on your website.
Yeah, they've had 4 GoFundMes taken down. They tried to have my website taken down. They had an eBay auction removed. I was selling a silicone doll that has nothing to do with them. But in the description, it said, I'm selling a personal collection doll to go towards my lawsuit funds with Bountiful Baby, who's wrongfully suing me. Luckily, eBay tells you who has the auctions removed. And John Pratt at Bountiful Baby had my eBay auction removed because they said I was trying to use their business name as marketing tools when it was just in my description. And the doll was at $3,500.
Wow. So they're suing you, and then they're interfering with any ability for you to defend yourself.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I can't. So
And in the court, and I should note that in the court documents, they are asking for $3 million. Yes. And they are denying that they're a part of this group. But they're in this group.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is I want to show them a pre-recorded, I'm going to just pop it up on the screen. It's a pre-recorded video I did with Melissa on Skype where she actually talks about, because Devin says, we're not part of that group.
So should we tell, do they know who Melissa Ellis is?
So Melissa Ellis is I'll introduce that right now. Can you mute your,
Yes.
Okay.
I'll figure that out.
So Melissa Ellis, you guys, is a former member of the Order. And her father, Mark Hansen, is actually the attorney that is representing the Order member, Devin Pratt, the alleged Order member, Devin Pratt, in the case against Stephanie. Melissa reached out to Stephanie after she saw that her father was involved in this lawsuit against her, and she knew what the Order was doing, and it was an attempt to silence her so that information about their company and their entanglements couldn't be known to the public because it wouldn't be good for business. So I sat down with Melissa, who is now running a fundraiser. Now, Melissa is actually an amazing human being because not only is she helping Stephanie, she's also part of Sound Coalition. And Sound Coalition is the same organization that I've talked to you guys about that helps with legislation in the state of Utah related to polygamy. Melissa works with Kristen Decker, who started and founded this organization. And Kristen Decker is Christine Brown's auntie from the Sister Wives, because everyone in polygamy is connected. So, Kristen Decker and Melissa, what they do is they try to affect legislation that protects people and victims of these schemes of polygamy. There's a current law that's being passed in Utah, or attempting to be passed in Utah, to decriminalize polygamy, to move it from a felony to an infraction, even though federally it is a felony. The state of Utah, Melissa says they will likely pass this bill, and they are working hard to help the legislators understand sort of what everything is going on with there. But part of also what she does is try to advocate and help people better educate people about the dangers of polygamy. Seeing what her former clan was doing to Stephanie, she stepped in to try to help Stephanie. So then I contacted, through Stephanie, Melissa this afternoon, and she and I talked by Skype, and I'm going to share with you guys our conversation so that you understand that what Stephanie is saying about Devin is not just an allegation, but actually true. Just so you know that I'm not supporting Stephanie because I have a hatred for this clan. It's factual. So Nevin is actually a part of this group.
Yeah, Stephanie's got it. He's number 79. That's his man number. I know there's a picture she has from Escaping Polygamy where they were pulling a box out of the window and it said Bountiful Baby on it. Bountiful Baby is they have a monopoly on mohair. It's from an animal for hair that they use for the dolls. And they would get the mohair and send it to us women that wanted to make extra money, and we would comb it out. So that box is a box that they would send mohair in. And so he can lie and say he doesn't know why it says that on it, but it was a mohair box. And it's a Kingston company. It was started from a hobby of Denise's, but grew, which is great for them, sure. But the money all goes back to the group one way or another. So if Nevin isn't putting the funds into the Kingston bank account, he is turning in his statements every month. If he doesn't turn in his statements, he could get in trouble. So he definitely is turning his statements in every month, and he's gonna be paying a tithing every month for sure.
So is he required to, if he owns that company, is he then like, as a numbered man, that means he's like chosen or something, or what's a numbered man?
So numbered man, it's a long crazy story, but shortened version, when the apocalypse happens, there's going to be an army of God, and there's so many men numbered in this army of God, and so they are numbered among those men for God's army. So God gives those numbers, but really the leader does.
Okay. So he'll be in the army in heaven.
Yeah.
And what's the role of the numbered man in the group?
So the numbered man in the group can be stewards. So any business it's really is essentially owned by the group, but the one in charge of it has to be a numbered man. So even if Denise started this herself, and then if Nevin wasn't a numbered man, they would have put somebody else over this company that was a numbered man. So you can only be in charge of a company if you are a numbered man. So,
okay.
So yeah, even like down in Huntington, it was my father-in-law that was in charge of the coal mine. And then when he got too sick and numbers came rolling around again, then they gave his son a number, and his son was in charge of it. So even though something may have been completely started by a woman, it's not going to ever be owned by them.
So then it's that there's this like, okay. And just so you know, I'm just.
Yeah, they want.
So they sue Stephanie for defamation because of things that they claim she has said about them that are untrue.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a tactic that the organization uses?
Yeah, they want her to take back everything that she said and admit that she lied, which she absolutely did not lie. So then she'll look, not credible, and he'll be on good terms with the general public again. Because people don't want to give their money to a crime organization, which the Kingstons are. They are an organized crime family. They are a mafia. That is what they are.
Because there's a $511 indictment lawsuit, criminal trial going on right now related to 4 members of the Klan for biofuel. Now, Nevin hasn't been charged with any crimes.
So what I'm aware of, I'm not aware of Nevin doing illegal things with the money that comes into Bountiful Baby. But I have seen, Bountiful Baby did give enough profit to them that he started the gun haven as well. Where do you go from dolls to guns, besides having guns that members can buy, things like that. But as far as I know, Nevin doesn't do anything illegal with the money that he earns, but the group does. So although not all of it goes to Nevin, there portions of it has to go to the church to help the church grow. And so what they do with that, like for the attorneys, where are they getting the money to pay for them? My ex-husband, he's taking me to court all the time, yet he only makes $3,500 a month. It's hard for me to pay my attorney's fees, even though I'm not working with my attorney as much as he is. How is he affording it? So those those monies go to pay for other things. They do use that money kind of like, they like to bring up in church a lot of the It's a Wonderful Life, that your money is in their house, your money is in his business. They like to bring that up in church a lot because that is what they do. They will take money earned from one company and help it with another business. So, their job is to prosper and grow. If they're going to have more kids, they have to have more businesses. If they don't have more businesses, then what's going to happen? And so, what they do with that money isn't necessarily right. But
wow. So so you're saying there's no that we know of criminal aspects that per se that he's tied to, but the money that his business makes, a certain percentage of that goes back to the order.
Yeah. Well, so all of the monies is supposed to go to the order. The order can use it whenever they want, but they do keep track of who produced that money. So everybody's money goes into one pot, but they keep track of, okay, like when I was in there, Melissa made this much this month. And then you can also use your inside bank statement to buy at inside stores. And then that would show on your statement that Melissa spent this much at family stores or bought food at John's Market, and that would be deducted off of my statement that I got from them, but all that money is in one pot. And so that's what happens with the companies too. Their money is all going into one pot. It's kept track that this money was produced by Bountiful Baby, but the rest of the order can use that money to buy things that are necessary. So if people in the group and other companies in the group can be in debt, and they could be in debt to another company for using the assets, the money that they had produced and brought in.
So the money that he makes goes directly into an account owned by
so it's supposed to. If it's not, at least he's turning in his bank statement every month.
So you allege that either he has to pay directly in, so the money would go directly into a bank account owned by them, or he has to turn over his
bank statements
that show. And then what would happen then? Then do they ask for that money, or?
Well, they keep track of it, and if there does come a need for that money, they will ask him for it.
So the order then has ownership of that money?
Yeah. They essentially, and he can't even open up that outside bank account without their permission. You have to get permission to open up an outside bank account.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, Stephanie, you can turn your volume back on. Okay, so that was just my conversation with Melissa, and she was saying that yes, Nevin is in this group. Yes, the money that's made by Bountiful Baby is his, technically, but it actually goes directly to the order, which then is what fuels what she calls a criminal enterprise that is like a polygamous mafia. And so when you learned this, that's why you felt compelled to speak out, because this organization has a history of children getting child brides.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a 17-year-old daughter who has been around these people. You know, I don't know if, let's say, there was men there from this cult. I don't know if they were checking out my daughter.
Sure,
you know?
Sure.
And it's just it's so emotional for me because, like, I was really good friends with Andy Kingston. And so just to find out this was all a lie, like everything is just false, allegedly. I felt like I owed it to my fans to tell the truth and source it, thinking that there would be no problem in that. Because my thought was this: let's just say I ignore it. Okay, I know what's going on. I'm no longer shopping with that doll company. And then one day my fan comes to me and says, hey, did you know that they have alleged connections to the Kingston cult? Is this why you stopped? Well, that starts a whole nother thing for me. Yes, I did. And then it'll be like, well, why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you give us that opportunity, you know? So I felt like I needed to say something so they had the opportunity I never had.
Because one of the biggest things I think people forget about when you have a YouTube personality is that even though we have these videos and that we have these views, our subscribers actually feel like this personal connection to who we are.
Yeah, part of my family.
Right. And so as our channels grow and as our reputations sort of go along with that, when we have something that we've told them and they've trusted us, we almost feel like we have to be truthful with them, because if we don't and it were to come out otherwise, then they feel betrayed by us.
Yes, exactly. And then what happens? They tell one fan, then they tell another, and then it's social suicide.
Right.
It's a social media suicide.
And then you are then, branded the woman who supports polygamy. The woman that helps fund child trafficking and abuse.
Exactly.
And
the sad thing is that I didn't know this cult existed, which grosses me out that I live here and I didn't know that. But I do big business deals with like Mattel and Hasbro. What if Mattel knew that? And let's say, I haven't gotten any recent deals from Hasbro. What if Hasbro found out that I had these connections with that, alleged connections to this company that's connected to this Kingston group, and they think I'm part of it,
Right.
Because I'm supporting their business.
Right.
But I'm not.
Right.
So this could have gone many different wrong ways for me.
Right.
If I never really found out, actually. I mean, I'm glad I found out. It's been horrible. It has wrecked my life. We lost our car to pay for the attorney, and Melissa has been the only light in this whole evil thing, because they have tried to turn me into this evil person.
That's not fair. And I don't know you, so I can't say you're not, but I'm sure you're not. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, my channel's successful, and, and I did it all on my own. I didn't, buy stuff.
Right.
So,
and
you're just pretty legit and real.
Right, and your channel, to me, it serves a population that find happiness in these dolls. And
yeah,
and some people that are childless or child-free, these dolls are like a baby to them.
They are true, and then that's another misunderstanding of it's really, most of us, 90% of us, we're all hobby,
Yeah.
Everybody just loves babies. It's like, this is how I've taught my fans is, who says you're too old to build a Lego set?
Right.
If you want to buy a Lego set, build it. I tell them, you'll stay younger if you keep that child inside of you alive. Why do you want to be grouchy and miserable like your parents? Why? Because they just decided that they have to be an adult and have no fun, So I always try to, with them, I make them feel secure in themselves, that they can do whatever they want to. A toy is not for a child. It's meant for whoever wants happiness.
And they're basically taking that happiness from you by dragging your name through the mud, trying to disparage you.
They're ruining my reputation, yes.
And you have other YouTubers who are in the same niche, completely unwilling to defend you.
Yeah, because they're scared.
Which is, you know what? I just have something to say to these people. There is a difference in this world of, throw caution to the wind. If you're a friend of someone and they are being railroaded, a weak person is the type that doesn't speak out and say something.
You know what they tell me? They tell me I did this to myself.
You didn't do this to yourself.
That's what they say. They said, I did this to myself. So they've made a petition that no one should help me.
That's disgusting. All you did was what so many of us do, and what I do on this channel every single day. And that's to help people understand the real dangers of these sorts of organizations.
Yes.
And that's all you're doing, is you're saying if you're purchasing from them, you are funding this criminal activity. And Melissa...
And I never said don't shop there.
You didn't.
I said I won't judge you if you shop there. I can understand that. I'm a mature adult.
Right.
I never said that, But
right. You didn't.
They have...
I watched the video. You were very clear. I'm not telling you this so that you don't shop there. This is why I'm not shopping there.
Yeah, because they deserve to know what I didn't know, and I feel betrayed and on so many. I mean, I don't sleep anymore. You know.
Well, Stephanie, you have
Nice.
you have a community here now because my subscribers are loyal, they're fierce, they hate these kinds of communities. They
Well,
hate
thank you.
they
Because
hate
I need the support so bad.
you have our support. You have my whole community that will rally around you and support you. And the link to your donations is in the description of this video.
And
And
if they can just share it, you know.
like
That's all I ever ask is just to share it because it's got to get to the right people.
nobody what they're doing is they're using the legal system as a way to silence you because they know that you can't afford it. And they have probably no intention of actually following through with everything. But at a point in time, they're going to exhaust you financially, allegedly, maybe attempt to allegedly bankrupt you so that you can't share the truth.
Yeah, yes. And then, like I said, we just, the last car payment I made on my car was September 23rd, and I got served on, around the time my next car payment was due. And I was like, well, the car payment's $700, we've got to start dishing money to an attorney because I'm not silencing. I'm not going away. And not until this group is gone. No. I became an activist not by choice but by force, and I wouldn't change it for the world, even though it has changed my life. But I took ownership of that number. I really did. I don't know. I'm going to show you. I put that number on my arm. The black 7 represents all the skin colors that aren't white that the Kingston cult hates. And the rainbow is for obvious reasons. They hate lesbians, gays, trans, and everything. So I took ownership of that number, and since then, I have felt so empowered. I was so weak 2 weeks ago, and then a fan paid for this tattoo. And last week, I have just felt like, you know what? Fuck this.
Yes.
I'm not going to let you silence me over your dirty secrets. I didn't do nothing wrong.
No. And this is what these groups do, is they browbeat people into submission so that you don't say anything. And this is how they keep people in these groups.
And this is the first time they've had a battle with a YouTuber.
And
the
fact that no other YouTuber is willing to dip their toes in, and I'll admit I was like, I don't want to deal with this. But I messaged Philip DeFranco, you know those ones that are all about it. Like, I was constantly sitting, even commenting on their Instagram, please, I'm in help. And no, they don't even reply. They're just and that was a thing, when it came to getting an attorney in Utah, we had messaged 50 people. And finally, the attorney that we do have, he is one of the attorneys that was on the renewable WRE that you're talking about, the $500 million thing. Yeah.
He is actually one of those attorneys that is handling my case. So you can know he's very expensive, but he's the only person in Utah that would help us. He said everybody's too scared of the group. I don't understand it.
It's amazing how much power these groups have in Utah. It's sad. And I've learned...
Well, and I mean, sorry, let me correct myself. My attorney didn't say everybody's scared to help me. Melissa Ellis, I believe, said that most attorneys are scared when you send them this thing about the cult in Utah. Somebody told me that. It was not my attorney, and I don't want to get him in any kind of trouble. But somebody said...
There's this really uncomfortable aspect of it, I think, that lawmakers don't want to be involved with, attorneys don't want to be involved with, because they say it's their religion. And so if you go up against them, you're then somehow declaring that you are going against someone's right to believe something. And so many people don't want to put their hands on that. They don't want to say that I'm discriminating against your right to believe. But the difference here is that when you stand against these things, you're not saying I discriminate against your beliefs. You're not saying that people can't be polygamists. You're saying I don't support using your religion to hide abuse.
Criminal. Yeah, exactly.
Because it's alleged human trafficking. It's keeping children in women in situations where if they don't, in some of these groups, like in the FLDS, Warren Jeffs, he was moving wives from one person to another, and
the Kingstons don't do that, which is funny, but they believe one wife is with you forever. But the sad thing in the Kingstons is when they're about 8 years old is when they get baptized. That means they're ready to start working. So they're working as young as 8 years old, and they're working grown-up jobs.
Yeah.
And
the kids and the girls, the only like role of a woman
is to have babies. Every time that they can have a baby, they're supposed to get pregnant. And I hear it's like 1 a year.
Yeah.
And that I've been, also most of them have their babies at home. Right. So because, they make sure that they survive actually until they're a year old, and then they go register them with the state. Now, because child abuse, I've been told, starts at a very young age.
Right. And Sound Coalition, which is the organization that Melissa is involved with, their organization, which was founded by Kristen Decker, who is from the Apostolic United Brethren, her father was actually a leader of that organization. That group does a lot to help lawmakers understand the dangers of these groups from, there's no such thing as consent, the brainwashing of, what Melissa said to me more than anything is that these people are not afraid of the law. They are afraid of their leaders, and they are afraid of the eternal damnation that is held over their heads by their leaders, that if they step out of line, they're going to burn in hell.
Yes, they will do anything to protect the group.
Right.
And even the women, Melissa has told me that the women will take the fault of the man's crime. Like, there's currently a woman in prison taking the fault that, I can't remember if the child died or it was severely beat, but it was actually the husband that did it. But if an order man tells you something, you do it, and because now she will be rewarded in heaven,
right,
for taking the fault.
And this is why the order is different than the AUB, which is, and I'm just going to circle this back to the sister wives, because that is something we talk about a lot on this channel. And one of the things that we talk about is that Mary is staying because, the one thing is Mary had a choice in the divorce. No, she didn't, because the men are the rulers. They're the priesthood. They're the ones that set the rules. If the man says you're going to do something, you're going to do it. Otherwise, you risk damnation, hell, all of that. Then you have the aspect of they don't have a choice. There's no such a thing as consent, because they're groomed into the situation where the women are told you are always a servant to the man.
Well, and the thing is like, okay, if you've ever spoken to a Kingston order member, because now I know that I have allegedly spoken to several of them, the female, when you talk to them, it's like talking to a brick wall. Like, they cannot make a decision for themselves. I would be at the show and I would just be like, oh my God, never mind. I'm going to go find Andy because she'll talk to me. Like, they just don't know what to say or do. And that is because they're very scared. They're very just like afraid of everything. And it's because, they're taught that outsiders we're bad people. Because, we're not in the order.
Right. So they're not afraid of the lawmakers. They're afraid of them, their leaders, and what the ramifications of their leaders. And they're going to support whatever they say, which means they will say anything to disparage you because they need to protect their organization.
Exactly.
So Nevin is going to fight you because he needs to protect not only the financial aspects of the Kingstons, but also he needs to protect the leaders. And he's clearly, according to Melissa, a part of this group. Melissa was saying he's a liar. I don't know Nevin from anything, but it's very clear on documents that he's a part of this group. He is parts of other lawsuits where people have sued the order, and he's listed.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, and he's listed as a numbered man. And knowing the structure of the Kingston, based on what Melissa's saying, we know the money that this company is making is going back into the order. So
one way or another.
One way or another.
Mm-hmm.
So it's unfortunate that groups like this can do this sort of thing. And then it's easy for them, because of their patriarchal, misogynistic views, to target a woman like you who also happens to be a lesbian.
Yep, and I'm married to a Mexican woman.
Right, because they believe in their blood.
You know that I am not the first person that's ever brought this up, okay? This was brought up like in 2013 or something, before Escaping Polygamy happened, the show.
Yeah.
Somebody had tried to bring it up and say that they were part of polygamy and they had shared the Marianne Nelson case. And like back then, there was not a lot of information. So when you read the Marianne Nelson case, it looked like it went in their favor, right? In my plaintiff's favor, excuse me.
Hold on one second. The stream somehow just disconnected.
Oh.
What is going on here? Okay, hold on.